Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Empress Aries 88. My name is Tanya. Well, please like on the way in. Gives me an energetic donation to the channel, helps me tune into you. Flip the roles as you see fit. Take what resonates from these readings and chuck the rest. And let's call in spirit. Let's get this party started, shall we? Spirit guides and angels of your whitest light, please give me a clear message for the collective, one that brings healing, hope, and understanding of their situation. Protect me as I open myself up to channel these messages and protect my beautiful collective. Hi, everybody. Well, it's September. Welcome to September, my friends. If I haven't said that, I've done a few readings already, but I want to be official Now, what I'm doing is just driving around, and I said, I want to do a reading. I don't do too many travel tarot readings like I used to. Haven't done too many this year. Did a few. But I wanted to do one today. So let me just pull some cards. And from my tin, I always carry tarot cards. I don't know about any of you all tarot readers out there, but I do like to shuffle cards. I don't know why. It feels like they're calling me. Anyways, I digress. Let's go back to the reading. All right, so I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you press the play button. And just so you know, these are collective readings, any energy, any sign. You're tuned in. I certainly do appreciate you sharing some time with me. Thank you so much for all of you that have been so loyal to my channel. Mwah! Many blessings, and I thank you so much, sincerely. I thank you so much for that. All right, so let's see what we got here. And since we don't have the Reiki-esque, I'm just going to use my hands and clear the energy. Clear the energy, Spirit. And so let's do it. Let's see what Spirit has to say today. Spirit, give me an overall energy, please, of my collective. Ooh, oh my Lord, Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords. So somebody is feeling burdened. Maybe even sleepless nights. Swords is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I don't get hung up on signs, but we do point them out in tarot. Because you have more than one astrological sign in your chart. So even if your sun sign is a different than Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, don't get hung up on that, because you could have air aspected somewhere in your chart. And you can get free readings or free, I guess it's like chart readings. It's not like a tarot reading, but you just punch in the numbers online. Just look it up. Ooh, jumped out. All right, so this is about love, Two of Cups, or a decision that a person made, a choice that a person made. Could be in love or friendship, because Two of Cups doesn't necessarily have to be romantic love. It could be friendships, family, a collaboration of some sort. Cups is Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, but they're up in their head about what it is, the choice that they made. Or this way, however you want to do it. They're up in their head about it, a choice that they made that maybe they're regretting. Okay, maybe they're regretting this decision. Let me see. Spirit, can you give me some messages about this Nine of Swords? Just to clarify, what is the Nine of Swords about? Four of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. A victory. A celebration. Or like I like to say sometimes, celebrating too soon. So they thought they had a victory, or they thought they were being they found the right choice. They gave their flowers to somebody else. Okay. Maybe they were, because of this Nine of Swords, they were debating back and forth as to who they should pick, because it's a choice between usually two people, right? Two. And they were debating back and forth, but then they were like, aha, like checking the list off. I'm checking the list and checking it twice. Gonna decide on who's naughty or nice. And they did their list. This person could be very regimented, could be one of those pros and cons kind of people, or they asked for advice on who they should choose. Take it how it resonates. And they decided they were going to be more victorious with somebody else. So the Ace of Coins started something new, a new beginning, or they were thinking that advantageously they were going to be with somebody else based on money. Based on money. Maybe they didn't think you had enough. Ace of Coins, if it's you. So they might have chose based on tradition too. Hierophant is not just about religion or traditions. It can be about being tied down in a mindset. When you're raised in a certain way religiously, it carries with you. Whether you change your religion or you change your circumstances, you move to another place. Say you were a Catholic and then you became a Presbyterian, or you became a born-again Christian. The Catholicism still is there. These traditional values, or how we are raised. We believe in a certain way. Marriage is I cheat. It's the achievement. It means that you're not just somebody's, I don't know how you'd say it, like you're not just somebody's partner. You have more meaning because you put a ring on it. So the Hierophant can be in somebody's head, stuck in somebody's head. This is the way it has to be. And so they chose a person based on that. Maybe you were too different. Maybe you didn't believe in traditional religion. Maybe you lived a different type of life. Maybe you had spiritism. Or they just felt like, based on their belief system, the other person checked the boxes off more than you did. No tea, no shade. That was their perception. Because everything really is down to perception. It's their belief system. You can say, well, they were wrong. And I feel like this anxiety made them, like, it's going to come out in the cards that that's how they fail. But at the time, they thought they were justified in choosing somebody else. Two of Coins. They collaborated with somebody else. They felt like they could pool their money together, their resources. They could take, each of them would have 2 coins. And then it would be more fruitful together. This other person had what they were looking for. Maybe they didn't have too much, a person. And so they went towards a person who maybe had more, looked like status-wise they had more, that they could offer more. Maybe your 1 coin, the Ace of Coins, right? You had the Ace of Coins. Maybe you didn't have much at the time when they knew you. This other person had more than you. So based on the Pentacles, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, they chose this person because you were maybe, this person looked more serious when it came to money. And maybe this person was serious about money. So they chose the person who had more money. You know, maybe this person is just about, the tangible and not necessarily about futuristic, down the road, you're going to come up with your own thing that makes you money. But at the time you didn't have much. That's what it just seems like. Magician. Maybe you were manifesting something more. I think this person was manifesting like riches, or they were manifesting status that was more important to this person, and you were manifesting something for yourself that was a little bit more non-traditional. Yeah, you're more non-traditional. And this person's more traditional than you. You were different than this person was used to, perhaps. They're more serious. You're more crazy. So the two of you were a little different. You know what I mean? You didn't mesh in this person's eyes. Maybe they're the person that had the 2 coins they were working hard for, and you only had the 1 coin. So now you're in a deficit. There was something that was deficient in their analysis of you. Because really, this is what you are. You're the High Priestess. So you manifested your abundance, but it was in the spiritual. It wasn't about the money and the status. It was about the heavens and the unknown. Maybe you're more into spiritism, and that's how you like manifest your greatness, is like in the mind. The body is the shell, but the mind is infinite. And maybe you were talking about stuff like that to this person and they just couldn't get it. They just didn't understand. Maybe you were predictive and they were like scared about that. That's kind of witchcraft, weird, not something I was used to growing up, you know? They were raised a different way. There was a difference between the two of you. It wasn't opposites attracting, it was opposites detracting. They were detracted and distracted because they were focused on the here and you were focused on the heavens. It was kind of different. They didn't like that. They didn't like it for some reason. 8 of coins. You manifested. You were working hard. You were learning something. And the two of you just didn't see eye to eye. 3 of swords. It was heartbreak. When they chose somebody else, whether you knew about them choosing somebody else or not, they left you high and dry. That you knew. That you knew. And you know, you had to take a leap of faith toward yourself. Take a leap of faith alone. 5 of Cups, you had to walk away. You had to walk away. Was it easy? No. Was it necessary? Yes. It was called no choice. Because this person didn't see your value. You were different. And it wasn't a bad thing. This person will come to realize that. I don't know if it's going to come out in the cards, but I'm saying it. Because when you're loving to a person and you pour into somebody with no expectations, maybe you were just a generous person, a generous soul that poured into this person with no expectations of getting anything in return. That kind of sacrifice, that kind of love is priceless. And that kind of love is always going to be remembered. Maybe they ain't going to circle back around. They already have their own thing. For whatever reason, they moved in a different direction. Everything happens for a reason, though, my friends. Even heartbreak. Don't ever get that twisted. You had to walk away disappointed. Maybe they didn't see this is all about them, mind you. They took a leap of faith that ended up, in the end, breaking their heart, right? Broke your heart, but it's going to break their heart because they're not going to forget you. They took a leap of faith towards somebody else that they felt like was more advantageous. Okay? Because they didn't see the value. There was empty cups here. 5 is about conflicts too, and it could be struggles. They struggled to walk away from you because you poured so selflessly into them. But you had to walk away too. You all have your journeys. You all have things that we're here for, that we have to work on. So the timing wasn't right. The meeting was divinely planned though. Don't ever get that twisted. When you come into a person's life, a high priestess, it's for that person to learn a lesson or to be tested. They failed the test because it was more of a focus on money than love. Page of Cups. I feel like this person really felt like there wasn't much that they could have offered you. They might have looked at you as different. They might have even blamed you on some level of being deficient in some way, like not hardworking, not focused. But I feel like it was their own lack and self-worth that really was the catalyst for them to move towards somebody that didn't have an expectation of that. They weren't looking for this big romantic gestures. They were looking for what that person could do for them monetarily. And they could understand that because they're like that surface too. They're like that too. Judgment though. Ooh, judgment. It's like a judgment call was made. Maybe even from the universe, that this was a separation period, that you needed to be divinely guided away from this person because you were pouring too much into an empty vessel. They needed to see their own self-worth and pour into themselves. So they divinely guided you out, made a judgment call. Come on, sweetheart. We're going to lead you out. Okay? Lead you out of a toxic situation before it gets worse. Before you start overpouring, begging. Okay? Which could have happened. Because you were the wish fulfillment. You were the star. Now you're going. Now you're gone. Knight of Swords, they want to come running. They want to come running after you. Because there's a recognition, a realization. Okay, an epiphany. An epiphany, I told you. Yeah, comes back again. Knight of Swords. Now they want to come tell you their truth. Now they want to try for you. And they want to come quick. Maybe they were dragging their feet for a while. Maybe they were dragging their feet. Wheel of Fortune. They see you now. Eyes wide open. You were the wish fulfillment. You were the star. And what they chose, back and forth with it, mind you, didn't know if they made the right decision, and now they realize they didn't. But they had all of these illusions of grandeur themselves. 7 of Cups. Options. But were they quality options? Or was it just quantity? Because a lot of people can get a bunch of things together. Doesn't mean it's good for you. So in the end, all these illusions and delusions, oh, I got choices. I don't have to choose now. I don't have to cement it, put a ring on it. Because I got all these options. I'm young and dumb and full of, why do I want to change up now? But they chose somebody else, though. Justice is here, though. Justice and judgment is usually like legalities, courts, when it's together. There is a separation, but there could be something in the courts. They could be going through a divorce. They could be going through child support, could be having, it looks like a busted up individual. Yeah, in this picture, it's filthy, it's disgusting. It's like they're realizing, they've been dragged through the mud. It's like what the cat dragged in. Maybe that's how they feel right now. Yeah, they've been through it. 10 of Swords, somebody backstabbed them. Somebody they trusted, somebody that they chose. Yeah. Now they're in Hermit. Virgo energy. Isolated. Not necessarily with anybody. Maybe in between people at the time. But realizing in Hermit state that you are the person. You could be the King of Coins. They could be watching you elevate, ascend. Maybe it just was at the time you weren't interested in what they were interested in as far as money. You weren't there yet. But see, the devil's here. So you got to be always worried about when the devil shows up, because these are addictions, toxicities, codependencies. Somebody could be codependent on them, or they could be codependent on money, attachments, addictions. There could be addictions here. They might want to collaborate with you, 3 of Coins, on a project. Maybe want to work on with something or partner up with you. Like a new beginning. Ace of Swords, let's start something new. But there's the devil there, though. They could be coming in quick to offer you something. Of course, it's got to go somewhere. Oh, Spirit. The Empress here. It was flipped, though. So it could be that it is Emperor in reverse. A tyrant. Not much of a leader. Maybe a follower. Or somebody that oversteps themselves as a leader, right? Abusive. Page of Wands. They're excited about coming towards you to offer you whatever it is that they're going to offer you, whether it's a job opportunity, to work together, or the newness of love. But it's like there's a toxic element here, though. 5 of Swords, there you go. Competition or conflict. There could be conflict if they come towards you, because they could have that other person that doesn't want to let them go. Yes, 4 of Coins. So this is a stingy person with their money, maybe their time and their energy. The World, though, they see success here, but because you have it and they want to benefit off of it. See, 3 of Cups, there could be a third-party situation in here telling them to get back to you so that they can all benefit. Let's celebrate. Yes, but you got to use your strength, your intuition for this one. Because there's something fishy about it. It's like they didn't see your worth. Now all of a sudden they're seeing your worth because you're doing good. Two of Swords. It's a choice you're going to have to make. Yes, which is inevitably going to cause a tower. A tower. Oh, God. Spirit, give me some more cards. One more before we end this. But you have to make a choice. Do you want to go back to the past? Remember why it ended. Remember how you felt. And use your intuition when a person comes forward. Why do they want to collaborate with you now? Why didn't they want to collaborate with you then? They could say it's because they were young. They could say it's they made the wrong choice. And all of those things could be true. It's people are capable of changing. That's true. But there's the devil here. And it's like money, stinginess, coins, pentacles. It's like they haven't grown from that. They're still into the money and the status. Like if you would have had that back then, they would have chose you. Because you didn't, they chose somebody else. Poorly, mind you, went through hell because of it, but they chose somebody else. Now they're seeing you elevate. They're seeing you doing better. You may not see it and say, what the hell do I got? You got more than you had back then, right? You had one coin, now you have more. You're multiplied. Maybe you're being celebrated. Maybe you have a platform. Now all of a sudden they want to come back. They're going to circle the block. Now they're going to offer you something. 5 of coins. It just feels like it's going to cause conflict. Or they're going to take something. Or they want something that you have. Yeah, like 6 of Swords. It's going to block you in some ways. It's going to stop you from moving forward. There's balance that you have that you've worked hard to gain. And you don't want anybody coming in and taking that from you. And this might be the deception, an illusion, a dream, maybe a fantasy that you had to be with this person. But it's only going to cause, look, conflict in your life. Because other people are going to try to stop it. Because other people want to stop them from moving away from them. Because they're benefiting off of this hardworking individual who might have addictions. The devil's here for a reason. People are codependent on this person. Queen of Cups. But your energy is so loving and beautiful, and it was. And they never forgot that. But you need to never forget why it ended and how better off you are in the situation you are now without this person. And I'm not trying to say that you're going to be better without this person in the sense of like this person is no good. And no, because, you know, it's been brought to my attention and I really feel like it's true. We go through karmic lessons in life, but we've been there too. We've had to go through our own challenges. And this person's going through a challenge in their life, whether it's addictions, whether it's like money issues, you know, suffering, whatever. Once they heal, they're going to get out of that situation and they're going to move on with their life. They have the ability, just like you did, to do the same thing. Once you had mastered whatever it is you were here to master. And I'm not saying you fully mastered, but, you know, we always learn we're a work in progress. But once you were able to walk away from toxic individuals, you elevated in life. And if you don't see that now, you will, because past, present, or future energy is always at play. Once you make a choice to love yourself, once you make a choice to choose yourself, because a lover's isn't always necessarily a choice between another person. It can be choosing yourself, to love yourself. Once that person does the same thing, they're going to benefit too. Maybe not with you, but they're going to benefit and move on with their life. You're going to see a different version of them down the road. And that's a good thing. We don't want to keep people stuck. And we're not happy. We shouldn't be happy that a person suffers on this world and on this earth. We don't want it for ourselves. We shouldn't be wanting it for another person. Not if we are elevated people, Christian people, God-fearing people. We should want the best for people. If they can do better for themselves, that's a blessing. And that's something we should be wishing for people too. Right? If we want forgiveness from our Most High, we should be forgiving other people for what they've done for us. So this person right now is in a toxic state. I'm not saying that this person can't change, but maybe it's not right for you. That's, you decide. I'm not your judge, jury, and executioner. I'm just reading energy, my friends. You make a choice, okay? But you're the Empress, you're the High Priestess. You have intuitive gifts. Use them to make the right decision when this person decides to circle back around. The scales are balanced. You don't want to imbalance your life with a person who's toxic or only in it to win it when it comes to money. Because who wants a person based on that? It's not lasting. Because money comes and money goes. Love is infinite. It's how much you pour into it and how much you receive of it. It's infinite. There's no price to it. It's priceless. Your peace is priceless. Don't give that up for a person that didn't value you. Can they change? Yes. Is it enough, though? That's for you to decide. Thank you so much for joining me in Empress Aries 888. Please like and subscribe and join my tribe because I'd love to have you. Till next time, be safe out there, my friends. Be blessed.